Alright, Shalom Akim. Before we begin, I want to start off by giving infinite praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, I give them wisdom, men who teach them well. And peace and blessings be unto you, full Akim, your brothers, that also protect this word in truth, faith, and in sincerity. And today, I'm going to be bringing out certain scriptures, just talking about, as the scriptures call them, these ravening wolves. Alright, and this was actually, those who missed the title. It's a phrase, actually, right? It's a phrase that the Ra'ash Shmaramat here in D.C. pretty much said it during this past camp, which was very important. All right, which is what it's essentially a question. What is the business of these ravening wolves? What is the business that these men, bring? And what's the main course or the reason of their discourse? So I'm just gonna bring out the first scripture. This is James 1:21. It says, "Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls." Okay. Now, first and foremost, all right, as we know, living in the time of prophecy, all right, in the midst of those last days, we know for a fact that the men that are actually out here in truth and in sincerity, in spirit and in truth, they are in the business of saving souls. All right, they're in the business of washing their own hands. All right, from those from our filthiness. All right, and laying apart all that superfluity of naughtiness, which I'm not mistaken, it's just exceeding wickedness. All right, so that's our main discourse. All right, and the discourse really comes from is what the wickedness is around us. All right, we point it out, and we condemn it in the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, or the names of our power. So now concerning these concerning these fellows out here, all right, that say and it's really at this point, it's at the time now where Akim can really count on their fingers the amount of times that men have caused offenses. For one thing, again, this is all prophecy. All right, this is meant to happen. All right, same how in the last times, in these last days, you're gonna have men being in the business of saving souls. So are you gonna have men being in the business of being stumbling blocks, being seducers. All right, as the scriptures actually I'm gonna bring it out, Peter's. All right, but right, but you have these men doing what they're supposed to do, fulfilling their lot, being essentially the opposing side. All right, so this is Matthew 7:15. This is It says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves." All right, this is red letter. All right, so this is our Lord Himself saying it. Hamashik Yahushai. Here it is now. Not only did you have wolves back then, but here it is now. You're gonna have again our people in these days doing the same thing, doing those same acts. All right. Again, whatever group is out there. All right, whatever these ABC groups are out there, I can know their works and what type of spirit that they come with, and most importantly, concerning this video, to stay on topic, the doctrine. All right, the doctrine that they teach. Okay, so 16th verse, it says, "You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit." All right, and again, and it's even the same thing in the ancient world. All right, the number one thing that we would hear, concerning rumors, all right, is what people, men and women, in these congregations, and they pretty much give us the whole spill. They expose what these men do behind closed doors. All right, Ezekiel, what's that? Ezekiel 2. All right, this is a rebellious people we're talking about. Israel being the most rebellious. So you're gonna have men that after their own lust, after their own, really after their own mind, and creating their own righteousness. All right. And the reason why I'm being so broad, not bringing out specific examples, it's just because the offenses hey man, look, some men in Israel, believe it or not, they have overpassed the wicked, as the scriptures talk about. So I don't even gotta mention it on camera, but brothers know. All right, especially in this climate, as of right now. Men being confused and even confused in what time frame that we're in. Whether or not if we're in the Old Testament, whether or not if we're in the New Testament. You know, they were to plainly put it, us being currently in the segment, or the time of grace, the period of grace. All right, it's at this time. Even then, people still aren't going to receive mercy, and second, they're not going to understand totally of even the things that they even teach. Because why? Because the Lord set them up to be those same stumbling blocks, man. To be those fruits that they're going to bring forth the fruit that they put out. And in this case, it's evil fruit. And that's what it says in the 20th verse. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. All right? Yep. I'm actually... Okay, I'm going to keep reading. 21st verse. It says, Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Right. So you got to understand what the will of the Heavenly Father is, and that's to believe on Yahweh Shai. And then some. Because you have to teach his doctrine. All right? How the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true biblical Israelites. The so-called white man is known as Esau, Edom today, the devil. All right? And most importantly, all right, as we have been teaching for many years now, all right, is that the Revelations, the 13th chapter, all right, and the fate of those people that take that's spoken about thing in the 13th chapter, the Sihip, all right, the MOTB, the mark of the beast, and as well as what's going to happen to those people. Revelations, the 14th chapter, these are basic things, which really, if you think about it, of course, it's actually not basic, all right, to the matters and to the not matters, the masses of these Israelites, man. All right, and yes, these are going to be Israelites, because we know for a fact what it said in verse 22. Many will excuse me, I'm a little excited. It says, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord. So these are men. Not only are they the Israelite men, not only are they wolves. All right. They're gonna know what the names of the Lord. All right. Yeah. Even worse, them teaching another name. But yeah. So these men. And again, this just also proves that we're not all the same for those people that say that, whether it's Great Millstone, IUIC, Sakari, UPK, these are the groups. It's just a fruit, all these bunch of fruits in these in this one huge basket, and only one of them has to have the truth. This is the way. So I'm gonna get the next scripture, because you gotta remember one thing too. This is as a big of a headache one might get. You have to understand that there's only one way. All right, and again, the Lord has to set up other pathways for people to walk on, and yes, the Lord has set this up for people to be deceived, man. All right, this is 2 Peter 3:3. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. All right, and that's how you know that's the business of wolves. All right, they're walking after their own lusts, and just like we read in James, the 1st chapter, they're not walking with the Lord. They're not walking the way, THEE. All right, they're doing their own thing. They're not in the business of saving souls. Actually, as a matter of fact, they'll probably say that in the YouTube videos, but in reality, just one example, they're seeking vainglory. They just want to be known. They just want to have cool titles on the YouTube handles. All right, they just want to be on the front of the featured bar in World Star Hip Hop, for NIGGAs and these other low lives of our people to watch, and all in the name of Israel. You just want to be the man. All right, Instagrams, your Facebooks, your Snapchats, all this buffoonery, and why? Because they do that after their own lust. They're not here for the Lord. Even if they say they are. No, they're not. Because their fruits say otherwise. And again, this is just scratching the surface. This iceberg goes very, very deep with these lewd fellows. 4th verse, it says, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Lord the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. All right, but that's pretty much the point. Actually, in the 4th verse, look, you got to remember, these guys, they can't even answer what the most simplest of things. All right, you had one case where guys, I think they were members of damn, I forgot the group name, but they're essentially have men based out in Baltimore. All right, locals you could say, and they pretty much came up, to one of our own men here in Great Millstone, but yet guess what? They was confounded, and not in a way of showmanship, not in a way of to belittle someone for not knowing knowledge, but it's just a simple question, and the question was what? What is the sea hip? All right, and what's gonna happen if you take it? And obviously, another aspect of it is what? How can you buy and sell with it? You see, as the scriptures clearly talk about within the 13th chapter. It's ridiculous. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 in verse 20. It says, I'll start at verse 19. It says, "For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not the Lord made foolish the wisdom of this world?" And the reason why, I'm gonna close it on this. I don't know. Is the reason why I brought this out is because yes, of course, this applies to just the men of today, whether or not they're Israel or not. You have men, of course, that would teach pretty much vain things. Prime example is men that preach how to get rich schemes, sigma, beta, alpha mindset gurus, people like that. And they'll pretty much bring out wisdom, which it is, but it's not sound wisdom. All right, and pretty much just do it to pretty much be the top disputer, to be the top scribe in this case, just men that have all the answers. Now concerning these men in the end times, because that's really the times that we're coming in. Isaiah 33:6. You're supposed to gather up what you're supposed to gather up for these end times when Yahweh Shah makes his great return, and all hell breaks loose. So what in that time? You're going to have people pretty much, where are you going to be in that day? That's pretty much the question. Where's the wise? Where's the scribe? Where are these men that had the answers? Better yet, even on a wide scale, look at these governments. What are we going to do? Who are we going to turn to? You told us to worship, Jesus. You told us to worship Allah and Ahaya or Yahweh, and these names aren't working for us, the things that you told us to do aren't working. It's things like this. All right, but just know one thing, that the wisdom, only the wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and the true men that actually keep his word unto the end time is the only one that's going to stand in that day, ultimately. So you got to remember one thing is that what the wisdom, not the wisdom, the business, as the title would suggest, all right, the business of these wolves is essentially what to be set up to be those brick walls with no, it's like a brick wall with a mouth, and it's just that, because guess what? They can actually talk, as that saying goes, talking to a brick wall. Well, guess what? Yeah, they talk, but guess what? It's still a damn brick wall, So those ones, this video was edifying. With that, I'm just close out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, Agri Millstone, the men who teach and rule well, and peace and blessings be unto you, full of Akim. He brothers that also push out this word in truth, sincerity, and in faith. Shalom.